Welcome to the Undiscovered Gems podcast, hosted by NBA legend and business powerhouse Charles D. Smith, highlighting today's best and brightest business minds.
Hello, and welcome to another show of Undiscovered Gems. My name is Charles D. Smith, and I'm your host, and we're here today with Samantha Somervill. You're going to find out a lot about Samantha today. Samantha spent a lot of her years volunteering. She'll talk a little bit about her issues with her daughter that drove her into the space of being called a Reiki master. With Reiki, Samantha uses it in the ways where I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling calm. So if you have stress, anger, anxiety, trauma, Samantha's the one that you want to talk to. So Samantha, welcome to the show today.
Hi, thanks for having me today. Great to be
Great.
here.
Great. So let's start it off by asking you and tell the audience, Samantha, how did you get into being a Reiki master?
Well, over the years, I have done a lot of volunteering work, and I always felt called to serve. But when my daughter went through some issues with PTSD, ADHD, and we later discovered she had autism.
Mm,
We were looking for ways to help her work through those issues, especially with the anxiety. We had done different types of therapies and different modalities, and I was searching for something that would be able to help her. I looked to Reiki as a way to give her a little bit of peace. So when we were in a session, they let me sit in for the first couple with her, and I started to feel something with me. The first time was like, oh, what is this? And then after a while, I was like, well, this is interesting. I felt the energy in me. And
mm,
so after it was helping her, and then so I started taking sessions myself. And so it was starting to help me heal as well in ways I didn't know I needed to heal. And so then the doors started opening up and opportunities for me to start taking the training myself. So I started with the first level Reiki training and became a practitioner. And then in November of last year, I became a Reiki master for UC Reiki. And then I opened my business. And then this past May, I went on to get Karuna Reiki. So as I went to each level of Reiki, I was able to expand my ability to not only heal my friends and family or help them heal. Actually, I don't heal, it comes from spirit,
mhm.
and help them have that peace and that ability to help themselves heal and find that
Right.
moment of quiet.
Samantha, when your daughter was getting treated, and you said you started to feel the energy and healing yourself, how was
Mhm.
that? Paint that picture for us, because I see someone
Yeah,
working on your daughter, and I see you standing and watching. But paint that
yeah.
picture. How did that happen?
Well, she was on the table, and I was on like a bench over in kind of the corner, I guess.
Hmm.
But you could feel the energy in the room,
Wow.
and it would kind of come to you. Because while is if you're open to it, open to
Hmm.
receiving, you will receive the energy that is coming into the room. And that
Mm.
is the important thing about Reiki. If you are open, you will receive, even if you're near it when it's being
Wow.
channeled in. So it's all about receiving and surrendering and being open to receive.
Right. You're saying key words that begin to, and you mentioned earlier, you said, you use the word spirit, and
Mhm.
you have to be open to receive. We'll get into that a little bit. But uh, tell us a little bit about your daughter. You mentioned that, she had, I think you mentioned ADD and some other various things,
Mhm.
various challenges, and that can cause a kid to be anxious a lot and
Yeah.
uh, and have rapid movements and always kind of moving around. What did you notice after the session? What were some of the things you noticed immediately, or within the next few hours after she got off the table?
One of those first sessions, she was a lot calmer for a little while, and she felt peace.
Mm,
Um, and then as I learned myself how to do the Reiki and did training, and I would do it at home, she would relax. And it would be the first time she would sleep. And normally kids with anxiety and PTSD and, depression and all of
hmm
these, issues that get bundled up together have issues with sleeping and just cannot relax. So
mm,
I would have her on the table and she would just relax. And her whole nervous system would just relax for like a half hour or however long she could stay on the table. So with people who have different needs, you talk to them on whether or not what position can you be in, how long can you stay there, what can you not touch. Like
hmm
a lot of folks can't touch their neck, can't touch their arms, wherever it is. So she just relaxed for
hmm
just that little bit of time and had some peace.
Oh, that's great. What is your definition? How do you explain Reiki? What exactly is it?
It basically is energy. For the most part, it comes from whether you want to call it spirit, whether you want to call it God, angels, whichever your belief system is.
hmm
It works. Great spirit. It works for you, whichever way your belief system goes. But it is channeling energy in. So Reiki, you are a channel. You bring the energy in. So we bring it in for you to be able to heal. So it goes in. So those that are familiar with like yoga
hmm
or any of the other modalities of even Tai Chi, or if you're thinking um, even acupuncture, there are energy centers and meridians that run through your body. With Reiki and yoga, it's chakras. So your energy runs from your head all the way down.
hmm
So it's making sure you're clear and you have even energy going through. So the energy we use, we go to each area and make
hmm
sure that you are clear and running through. Each chakra means different things and helps you depending on where you're having the issues.
Right, right. And so with the different thought processes that people have about massage, about
Yeah.
all sorts of modalities and things that you can do to your body to relax, to relieve stress. Reiki is one of them. What are the
Mhm.
differences out there? What is it that takes Reiki and sets it apart from, say, getting massages or
Yeah.
sports massages? What's the difference?
Yeah. Well, one thing to keep in mind is Reiki isn't physical. We don't physically do any manipulation.
Mm,
I mean, you can get Reiki with massage. There are folks that do offer that. So you can find that is a part because there are massage therapists. I do know them that use Reiki as a part of
mhm,
that. But
sure.
if you're just going for Reiki, there is no physical manipulation involved. There's also no diagnosis or medical advice. Reiki works in conjunction with your doctors or with your therapists. It's not there to diagnose a physical or medical condition. It's there to is to promote relaxation and
Mm,
give you balance. And it's there to not to replace the medical treatment. It's not an instant cure.
sure,
It's not
sure.
going to like magically fix something. Now, some folks may need to go to a couple different sessions to help you work through whatever it is, because there is like after a session, you will have what's called a detox, more than likely. So it'll
hmm
feel like you went through a flu afterwards as your body works through whatever was working itself through on the table. Or if it's a distance session, you're going to feel it distantly, but you're still going to have a little bit of detox as you're working that through. That's why we encourage you to drink a lot of water and be kind to yourself for a few days. because your
Right.
body is emotionally working through that. It isn't about forcing your healing either. It's about letting yourself relax and allow it, and letting that, quieting that noise, and
Mm-hmm.
allowing your body to do what it needs to do. But it's also not a religious practice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not affiliated with any religion. So it's a spiritual practice. It focuses on the energy itself.
Right.
So now in the 80s and 90s, it was seen more, it was more closed door. So a lot of people saw it as like more woo woo because they didn't understand it. More and more people are sharing now what it is, sharing the practice, sharing how to do it,
Sure.
and getting out there. So it has less of the, taboo to it now.
Right. So Reiki is not physical contact. It's all based on energy. Can you perform Reiki over the phone?
Yes, that's called distance Reiki. It can take many different forms depending on the practitioner.
Mm,
Sometimes it's you send me an email and I'll do it and then send you an email back for a specific time. Or we have a phone call and then I say, get ready, and then we have a specific time and then call you after. Or it's a Zoom meeting, and then we have it all on the phone call. Or it just depends on that person and what they're most comfortable with. Um, more than like More than anything, it's really good if you have a visual before you start, so you know
mm.
where they are, what they're doing. But yeah, it can be done distantly. You don't have
So
to be in the same room.
so is the energy and the flow coming from someone's voice, and is that how it's happening? Just through communications, keywords? I'm trying to understand, and for others, how would that work over the phone? Because we went through COVID, and I'm
hmm
sure people were practicing Reiki during COVID.
Yeah.
So it's just how was that done?
Distance Reiki doesn't involve any words necessarily. Like
Okay.
I could be sitting in my room, oh, and you can be sitting in your room, and I
Hmm.
don't even have to say anything to you. I can if you want me to, but we
Hmm.
don't have to say anything. It's
Wow.
knowing you and concentrating on you and sending the energy to you. So when you hear people say, I'm sending you good vibes,
Yes.
a lot of people laugh about that, but it is, you really are sending good vibes to someone if you believe it and send it and concentrate on someone, because the
Mm,
energy is there and you really are sending it to someone if you believe it and you send it to them and you can channel it.
right. Right. No, that makes sense. And I've had people say that to me, hey, from another country, hey, sending you good vibes, and they're into different practices, so I can see that. Um, Talk to us about some of your clients. What could they expect from you uh, if they come in and see you? What would they what is their expectation?
I have a couple of different offerings right now.
Hmm.
I do have the distance Reiki. I do have in-person Reiki for those people here in the Richmond, Virginia area. I can either come to you or you can come to me. Um, I have those on my website, calmingvibrations.com. You can go out there and look at my
Hmm.
services.
Hmm.
I'm in the process of working on my meditation teacher training, so I'm going to start looking to be offering meditation classes, either online or in person. So I'm working through that right now with breath work and meditation. So
Mm.
that's going to be coming soon. So I will offer both regular Reiki as well as Karuna Reiki. And Karuna Reiki is a little bit different than a regular Reiki session in that you add toning. Now, for me, I will add the Karuna in if I feel it needs to be there and I'm guided to. So you'll feel a Karuna is like using your voice or humming or tones or sounds as a part of the
Hmm.
session.
Right. There's another Reiki called Usia or Holy of Fire.
Yes.
What practice is that? How does that work?
It's the same. It's in the lineage. They're
Okay.
called lineage.
Okay.
That is also what I do. So that came first before the Karuna Reiki. So it's all in the same lineage. There are other lineages of Reiki.
Hmm.
They're all equally good. It's just a different lineage. So mine was, you see, Reiki, and then I have Karuna Reiki was the last of that lineage, and then I can add on to that from there.
And when you have different lineages and you're adding on, is
Mhm.
it more energy? What is it? What is the escalation of the treatment or the service?
Um, what it means is you are getting other attunements. You're able to use other symbols. It's basically more knowledge.
Hmm.
As a lifetime learner, it's very exciting for me to go, oh, I can
Hmm.
learn more things.
Right.
And so
Right.
with Reiki, like most things in life, you're constantly learning. You do not know it all. There is no way to, so it's constant learning. So with Reiki, you keep learning and saying, oh, there's something else I can learn. There's something else I can add on to help people. So it's learning new symbols, learning new attunement, getting new attunements that come to you so that you can then expand and help other people.
Right. Right. Where's the origin of Reiki? Where does it come from? Where did it start?
It started in Japan,
Okay.
actually. Yeah,
Hmm.
and it's gone through a few different changes from the original as it came over from Japan. It went from Japan to Hawaii when there was the World War,
Hmm.
the World War II, and then it came over to the United States. If you're looking at the UC Reiki lineage with William Rand,
Hmm.
and then it came over and it kind of expanded. It went through a lot of different changes. So you'll see it had lots of forks, I guess is the best way to say that. So
Hmm.
you'll see like the symbols change because in the very beginning, a lot of Reiki was spoken, it wasn't written down. So a lot
Sure.
of the symbols are different. So and then I believe a lot of the original, you'll have a lot of the original folks from Japan still teaching the original Reiki as well. So there's a lot of different paths that have come
Hmm.
out since it came over from Japan.
Oh, awesome. That's great. When you talk about, Reiki, and you say healing, there's
Mhm.
healing that can be, a symptom. You can heal a symptom, or you can have a full solution and a complete result that somebody goes through and they're totally healed. What are some of the things that people can get totally healed from in Reiki, or does that not happen?
There is no totally healing from
Hmm.
Reiki.
Okay.
Reiki offers you the ability to allow yourself to heal. So
Mm.
it allows you the pathway to open yourself for that healing.
Hmm.
So it allows you the ability to heal yourself so you can open yourself up. So I will tell you from personal experience that once you heal a layer, sometimes another layer comes up and says, "Oh, I have to work on that now."
Sure.
So but it allows you that space and that peace
Mm.
to be able to heal yourself and move on to the next step.
Right. And where and at what point did religion or spirituality come into Reiki? Was it there from the start? You mentioned spirit, and you mentioned if you're willing to open up and surrender
Mhm.
yourself. Those are spiritual terms that have meanings behind them. So,
Mhm.
where's the synergy between the two?
Well, energy has always been a part of most of the modalities that you will study.
Hmm.
Um, as far as being open to the energy of the universe and being able to channel it. I
Hmm.
believe, I don't know the exact answer to where it all started, but I do know that understanding energy and the chakras and how it all came together, that all came from ancient India and before,
Sure.
and how energy flowed. So that has been around for centuries. So if you want to study back that far. Now, as far as the spiritual aspect, that is where that is. Now, there has not been, with Reiki, there is no religion. It is all understanding energy and that it comes from spirit, which is above. Now,
Sure.
if you are spirit, if you will have religion, such as, whether you're Christian, Buddhist, Jewish, that's fine. Everybody is welcome and you can work it in as it is a part of everybody and it is part of that religion.
Right. And part of that is when I talk about symptoms and solutions, we're talking more emotions versus physical. Is that correct? Because you're not actually placing your hands on individuals, but there could be some physical healing. But is it
Mhm.
mostly emotional trauma, anxiety, different things, more emotion than physical?
You can't, now there is some placement, like sometimes we will put our hands like right here on the throat chakra if they can take
Okay.
it, or on top of the head for the
Mm,
crown, or right here. It'll be very light touch.
light touch. Hmm.
It's not heavy. It's very important for folks to tell the practitioner if they cannot take, like a lot of people have problems with the throat. They say, don't, I can't be close to the throat. Or
Hmm.
there's other areas. Now, if you are having, let's specifically say that you have a problem with your shoulder, all right, you're having a lot of pain here. The Reiki the energy can be channeled to the shoulder if you're having an
Hmm.
issue here.
Sure.
Will it heal it? Not necessarily, but it can help you relax that area to allow you to heal it. Will it
Hmm.
fix it immediately? No, it's not an instant cure. You still have to probably go to therapy, go stretch that out, or maybe go to an orthopedist if you have to. But
Hmm.
it is going to help you if you're already doing those steps. It will help you relax and calm and allow you that space to heal yourself because if you get the sleep, the relaxation, your body can rejuvenate itself.
Right. Now, you just mentioned, the healing process for yourself or someone else. Talk a
Hmm.
little bit about how Reiki has helped you. What were some of the things that you realized that maybe it was something things were going on, and then you got involved in Reiki, and then you didn't know, and you started feeling better. What are some of the things, and how has it helped you?
Well, since my journey started, I have found a lot of peace
Mm,
and a lot of the way I approach situations. A lot of things that used to say I would get really anxious and worked up about. And I'm like, it's just, it's not worth that.
right, right.
I find a lot more peace and a lot more, and I'm able to share that with others. So I've always handled things with empathy, but I have a lot more, I can hold more space for not only myself, but others. I do Reiki, but I'm also working on a shamanic journey around the wheel of the medicine
Mm,
wheel as well. So
hmm.
I'm working on my own shadow work.
Wow.
So I have been able to do a lot of self-reflection, and the Reiki and all of that has helped it. So it helps you look at different parts of yourself and be kinder to yourself and look at what you might have gone through in a different
Hmm.
lens and
Right.
like go, oh, okay. And then just examine it and work it through.
Yeah, the things like, well, one in particular, anger. I saw, and people have spoken about how words matter, and anger and negative emotions in the body can do a lot of damage, especially if it's retained and held on to. And I can see where Reiki can release that and give people peace over time. Talk a little bit about some of the clients you may have had, if any, that have had anger or trauma, and they've been able to express to you how Reiki has helped them.
Um, I'm not going to name anybody specific, but I can
Right.
tell you about anger in particular and where it lives.
Sure.
If you want to, you need to speak your anger and
Mm,
address your anger, or else your anger will speak for you.
I like that.
That's very important. Um, if you hold it in and do not address it, it will address it for you. Sometimes people are angry and you're just angry, but
Hmm.
sometimes that anger is something deeper and it means something else. And it's important to understand what that is. A lot of our anger comes from the solar plexus area, which is just above your
Mm,
navel. So that's usually where it sits. Um, and when we do Reiki, if you have a lot of the anger and the tightness, one of the things you want to do is try to get that anger to move, if you can, up to your heart chakra, where you can soften that. And if
mm,
you can soften that, it gives you more compassion and to look at that anger from a different light so you can examine it and understand where is that anger coming from
sure.
and possibly release some of it. So that will give you, the client, more of a little bit more lightened feel after a
Hmm.
session, like a little bit of a release and clarity. They'll get clarity on the situation and what is actually causing them the anger. Is it a boundary was crossed? Is it that maybe I'm not angry about that? Maybe it's I'm anxious,
Mm,
or it's a different situation. Maybe I'm not actually angry. Maybe it's a different kind of trauma. Maybe it's something else. But you have to examine it. Or maybe I just am mad. Maybe I'm mad because that cup's in the wrong place.
right,
It
right.
could be, I mean, it's okay to just be mad, but you have to examine the feelings, feel all the feelings, and let them
Hmm.
be felt.
Yeah. And the show is slowly, quickly coming to a close, but I got to get two questions in. So one,
Yeah.
um, you, when people physically work out, I'm a former
Mhm.
professional athlete. We always talked about our core. The upper and the body the lower have to work together. Keep your core intact and strong. You mentioned
Mhm.
solar plex. Every time I hear about emotions, it's coming from the midsection, the solar plex, and things are stored and held there. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the solar plexus is your core. It's part of your core. You also have your sacral, which is lower. Um, that's basically right above, that's right below your belly button.
Mm,
That's your lower abdomen. And then you have your root, which is right at your pelvis, like your tailbone.
mm,
That's so those three make up your main, I guess the best way I could say that's your core. That's what
hmm.
keeps you grounded for the most part. Your root chakra is where your stability comes from and makes you feel most stable in the world.
Hmm.
So to make sure that you are stable and grounded will help you deal with a lot of the emotion and everything that's coming up to the upper parts of your body. So the more important things is to make sure you're getting outside,
Right.
walking around, getting exposure. If you can't get outside, make sure you have a plant. Get in touch with nature. If you can add root vegetables to your diet, just to have that kind of connection
Yeah.
to the earth, that can help too. But you're just trying to strengthen that core of your body so that you are more grounded to the world, and that will
Right.
help strengthen the other parts.
Right. Take 15 seconds and tell the
Okay.
audience what you want them to remember from this interview. Help them.
I want you to remember that Reiki is here to help you. We are here to help you not only relax, but we're here to help you work through with your other modalities. If you are doing any kind of therapy, we're here to work with you there. So please reach out to us at calmingvibrations.com. Contact at Calming Vibrations.
Great. Great. That's awesome. Well, Samantha, I want to thank you so much for coming on our show today. You definitely held up the banner of dropping gems on a show called Undiscovered Gems. Samantha Somervill, you can reach her in Richmond, Virginia. If anybody is under stress, anxiety, anger issues, go see Samantha and start your healing process. Samantha, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you so much. It was great being here.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Undiscovered Gems with our host, Charles D. Smith, highlighting today's best and brightest business minds. Brought to you by Pods Entertainment Group.